application to study in Canada. Congratulations, you've been approved. We're entering the time of year when a lot of persons will be coming to Canada for the first time to start their international student journey as an international student here in Canada. In this video, I will be sharing my own journey coming to Canada as an international student. How did I navigate the system? And also sharing some tips for all the persons who are a little bit confused, anxious, worried, different factors. How can you also navigate the international student pathway and being an international student? Get into it, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already, and drop a comment. Alright, that's how we do it over here, guys. If you are new here, my name is Dems, your favorite Jamaican Canadian YouTuber living here in Grand Prairie, Alberta. Came to Canada in 2019 with my family as an international student, and my wife came as a foreign worker on a spousal open work permit. That's my story. If you don't know about it, go and check out some other videos where I share everything unfilteredly, and it can definitely be beneficial to you. Alright, guys, now let's talk about it, guys. Back in 2019, I came to Canada for the first time. I've never traveled outside of Jamaica before. At that point in time, didn't know what to expect, didn't have any friends or family on the ground. I had to land a couple days before my wife, so it was a very, very overwhelming experience. And I can imagine how many of you guys are feeling right now. You are nervous, you are anxious, you are wondering if everything is gonna be okay, you're wondering if everything is gonna be alright. But I'm here to tell you guys that, listen, don't overthink it. It's the best decision that you have made for yourself so far, and you will definitely be successful in your pursuit. Alright, guys, a lot of persons who decide to become an international student do it not because we wanted to go back to school really, but because we wanted a little piece of card that says permanent residence of Canada. So that is why a lot of you guys are doing it also. However, this is just the beginning of the journey, and after completing this journey, you go to the next step, you go to the next step, and you go to the next step. What I would like to say, guys, is that studying in Canada is considered one of the safest ways of migrating to Canada. Oftentimes, getting your study permit is the hardest part of the process, and it's a straight road toward permanent residency. But you'll have to remember that you have to maintain and adhere to all the terms of your relevant visas. In this case, your study permit, which is only one step up from a visitor visa really. So you want to stay out of trouble. You want to just keep focus on school, because you want to just remember that this is what is keeping you here. This is what is keeping your family here at this present moment in time. And plus, you spend a lot of money. You don't want to blow up all of that money, and you don't want to end up in an unfavorable situation. So just keep focused, go through the school thing, even if you don't really intend it to do it. But at the end of the day, this is just a means to an end. Okay, guys, let's get into it. Now, when I came to Canada and I started school, one of the first things that I noticed was that everyone referred to the teachers on a first name basis. Now, being from Jamaica, that was a little bit strange to me, because we're used to calling teachers by their title: Mr., Mrs., Miss, etc., last name. So Mrs. Brown, Mr. Brown, Miss Brown, Miss Stewart, etc., etc., etc. But here in Canada, one of the biggest shock was that everyone was like, "Hey Steve, hi Sean, hi Mandy, hi Amanda," and I'm like, "Whoa, okay, I can see that." So that was one of the things that definitely took me by surprise. Now, how did I navigate the system? Now, navigating the system can be tough within the first couple months, because you're dealing with a lot of factors at the same time. You're dealing with transitioning in terms of finding an apartment, finding a house. You're dealing with finding a job, finding the job that will gonna pay you enough that you can sustain yourself, sustain a family while you're here. That's actually a big deal. You also have to be adapting to the new culture, the new weather, the new way of doing things. You have to be learning and unlearning and relearning all sorts of stuff. So in addition to going to school, you're learning about the culture, you're learning about the different way of doing things. And when everything comes to you at once, it can be a bit overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie, but at the end of the day, keep focus and do it one step at a time. Now, what I would like to say is how I navigated that was the fact that I had my wife. That was very helpful to me, because while I was in school, we could have only worked 20 hours per week while school is in session and a study permit. But now, there's a lot of changes that's been made, and a lot of international students are able to work full-time. A lot of that wasn't the case. Also, I only did one semester in person because I was a COVID student. As soon as I was about to start my second semester, or barely started my second semester, COVID hit, and then everything went remote. So most my second, third, and fourth semester was all done remotely, and that was the emergence of Zoom in terms of as this big powerhouse that it is. So I did a lot of Zoom classes. We did a lot of Zoom group assignments online, and many of my classmates I haven't even been able to meet in person up to this day. So my school experience was a bit, I'd say, different because it was mostly done remotely. However, everything is opening up back now. So what I would like to say to you guys is to take advantage of the multicultural nature of Canada. Get to meet other cultures. Share your culture with other people. Don't just come and be with your community, but be open to learning about other cultures and making friends with people from other cultures, because this is something that can be very beneficial after you're done with school, because these are the same persons who are going to be going out into different industries, and you may never know, right? So you want to keep that connection irrespective of the culture. Other thing I would like to say, guys, is here in Canada, the school system is almost like self-driven. No one is gonna spoon feed you, as we call it in Jamaica. You have to take your own initiative to make sure that you are doing things on your own. Your studying is your responsibility. Your assignments is your responsibility. And oftentimes that group work nature that we find in the Caribbean is not always the same here. You can probably end up in a situation where you're gonna have to be doing everything on your own, learning all of the things that you find tough to teacher because there's no classmates to go to. That's okay. Just be patient and just focus on your own thing, right? There's no much spoon feeding thing that takes place here in the college system. Everybody works on their own initiative. And remember now, you're an international student. You're paying up to 3-4 times what a domestic student pay. So you cannot afford, literally, you cannot afford to fail. So you have to keep focus on your studies, because your studies is tied to your immigration. Alright, guys? That's what I'd like to say. Now, in terms of other things that people are always asking me, like how did I navigate working and going to school? As I said, I could have only worked 20 hours. So when school was out, I just went and I did 4 hours a day for 5 hours a week, which wasn't bad. But throughout when school is on break, you can work full time and you just take advantage of that. Now, what I would like to say is, if you are one of those persons who end up have to be working 20 hours when school is in session, it's only relevant for Canadian work. So if you have an online job, for example, and your company is based in Jamaica, your company is based in the US, that does not count. Work is considered working for a Canadian employer and getting paid. So bear that in mind. If you are working online, or if you had your job back from Jamaica online and remotely and whatever, you can work full time just the same, because the 20 hours a week is only permissible for Canadian employers and physically getting paid. Bear that in mind as well. Now, do not abuse that. If you are expected to work 20 hours a week, know that if you work more than 20 hours a week, it might affect you guys. So please do not blow your chances for a couple of extra dollars. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, guys. So stick to the script, stick to the books, stick to the thing, and do the thing the right way. Alright? Most importantly, guys, have fun. Have fun. Because, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, colleges here are a little bit different. There's not much culture, if that's the term. In Jamaica, and I keep referring to Jamaica because that's where I'm from, you have a lot of college experience. But the college experience here is almost non-existent, if I'm being honest. It's almost like you just go to school, do your work, and you go back home. There's not much things to do other than that, because there's not much culture in the colleges here. Like, you don't really have a lot of parties and stuff like that would have become accustomed to, which is probably even good, because it probably helps you to focus on your studies, right? So I want to bear that in mind as well. Also, guys, I'm sharing my own experience, and I'm in the province of Alberta, beautiful city of Grand Prairie. You might be in a different city, you might be in a different province, and you find that probably it's a totally different culture, because where you go is important, but where you go is different as well. Each province is almost like its own little mini country. So I want to bear that in mind as well, guys, alright? But all in all, it's a wonderful experience being an international student in Canada. You get to explore, you get to experience, and most importantly, you get to become a permanent resident. And that's what it's all about. because studying and completing is the best way of becoming a permanent resident in Canada. It's not the only way, but this is my own opinion. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and again, huge shout out to all the persons who have been approved and coming to Canada. Welcome if you're here already. Welcome to the Great North. Don't be afraid of winter. There's no such thing as bad weather or no bad clothing. Be prepared and know that you can make it as well. Many of us has done it before, and you will make it too. Alright? One step at a time is a journey. Get involved, become a part of a community, and don't feel like you have to do it on your own. Right? Be true to yourself, but at the same time, be open to unlearning and relearning different culture, different system, and bring your strengths, bring your full self, and all the best on your journey. That's all I can say. All the best on your journey, and hopefully it's a smooth transition for you guys as well, and hopefully you have learned something from this video as well. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't liked the video already, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and see you guys in the other video.